crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroo.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Wow. It looks like the end game is here. And this is an end game I've been talking about for 20 years now. I figured out what the Fed was going to do in 2007 when they published the Road to Ruta documents. It was clear that they were going back to a gold standard, our traditional constitutional gold standard, silver gold. Now, here's the problem. There's not enough silver. That's why you see this divergence in what's going on with silver. Gold-silver ratio is at 83. Pretty soon it will be 8-3. Silver will be massively more valuable than gold. Don't forget, when they lock in gold in a gold standard, gold doesn't go up or down. Gold is money, is fixed. Silver is going to be just skyrocketing. So, I do want to point out, I have just posted the latest Jenny Moonstone rating. We got into the guts of this silver lease with JP Morgan and Bank of America and who is that third party. So go check that out. Also, something I can't talk about or I get kicked off. That's on the private road at Road to Ruta. Go to roadroo.com. All kinds of silver stuff there and really cool readings on stuff that's not allowed to be talked about on YouTube, so I'm not going to talk about it. They've demonetized my last 3 videos, by the way. All right, here we go. Silver getting slammed, gold holding strong. Interesting. You know why this is happening? I will show you right here. Silver's being held below. It's like holding the victim underwater as you're drowning him. That's what the Bank of America rigger, the entity in charge of that rigging job is a company called Virtu Financial. Virtu Financial is a high-frequency trading market maker. Never loses money ever, always wins on their electronic rigging job. Congratulations, Virtu Financial. Vinny Viola is the guy there. Way to go, Mafia. So that's what's being done with silver. As you can see, there's the 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages. It's being held down below there. Spectacular time to buy. I can't even tell you a better time in the last 50 years to buy silver. You have minimal downside potential. Might go under $20. That would be, Jenny and I talk about that, by the way. I don't think it's going to happen. Jenny doesn't think it's going to happen either. So anywhere between here and $20, this is a buy of a lifetime. So go to your local coin shop. That's what I tell everybody. Always go to your local guy, because that's who you're going to be selling these coins to. As silver goes to $10,000, $20,000 a coin, you're going to take your 1 ounce coin and go to your local guy and say, hey, I need $15,000 for this silver eagle. And he's going to say, oh my God, you have a silver eagle? Here, I'll give you $15,000 and you can have this bottle of wine if you sell me this coin, along with the cash. And the cash will be backed by gold. Redeemable only, by the way. There's no Nesra, there's no Jesra. People, get your head out of the clouds. People thinking that. Anyway, so that's what's happening to silver. Silver being held down, suppressed. Right here, as you can tell, silver is dropping compared to what gold is doing. And why isn't gold being held down too? Because of this. Gold's well above its 200-day moving average and 100-day moving average. Well above. There's no reason for it to be held down. There's no. I mean, the banksters, they own gold. They control gold. Gold's their largest asset for most of them. You know, the gold market, just the COMEX gold traded every year is $15 trillion. And every year in silver, it's about $425 billion. What does that tell you? If gold goes crazy, what are people going to do when they have all this wealth in gold? Oh my God, I'm over-concentrated in gold. What are they going to buy? Massive amounts of silver. 83-1 is the silver-gold ratio right now. Could it go to 120-1? Sure, it could go to 1,000-1, 10,000-1. These numbers are fake. The COMEX is fake. How do you think they've stuck oil at minus $40? How many oil contracts did you buy at minus $40? You didn't buy any. You know why? The only people who play in these, especially the precious metal market, are the banksters. All this $425 billion in volume is the bankers trading back and forth to each other to set the price. Once in a while, a little guy will come in. Private Advisor Group, keep an eye on them. I guarantee you they're going to be loading up. They might buy over 1/3 over the, back in January, first quarter of last year, they bought 1/3 of SLV and held it and then took delivery of a lot of that silver. That's the big, Rust and Benham saying, we got to tamp down silver. That was Private Advisor Group. Then they got rid of it all, and then they, as of the fourth quarter, they started loading up again. They got 60 million ounces of SLV, shares of SLV, and they're going to go to, I think they'll go to 190 million ounces again, a third. I think they'll go over that. What about 100% of SLV? Remember, stocks are the same. Everything's rehypothecated. You can buy 100% of SLV and won't move the price because they rig it on the background. You don't really own it. Try to take possession. See what happens. Anyway, there's big games going on behind the scenes, as you can tell with this article. A new gold standard, Kremlin confirms intention to back the ruble with gold and commodities. It doesn't matter if you back the ruble with gold and commodities. Unless it is a redeemable standard, it doesn't matter. It's better than fiat, but it's still a trust game. And who trusts Putin? I do. The reality is, trust is going to be gone from the system. There'll be no NESRA, no GESRA, no global financial system, no quantum financial system. There'll be no IMF. There'll be no World Bank. There'll be no Federal Reserve System. That's what was told to us in Banking Basics. If you followed the road to Ruta for long enough, on January 1st, 2007, the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston posted on their website, in their education section, 3 comics. The first one was the Road to Ruta comic, Wishes and Rainbows. The second one was the Teacher's Guide. And the third one was this thing called Banking Basics. And go to roadtoruta.com. It explains the whole thing. Banking Basics, look at page... Where's that page? Whoa, wait a minute. Here's a girl cashing in 19 gold coins for cash. What? Is this the Federal Reserve System? When was the last time you saw someone go into a bank and redeem their cash for gold or deposit gold and get cash? It's been a very long time. But that's where we're headed. That's exactly where we're headed. So this is just scratching on what's available. It's not going to be a gold standard where, oh, I promise you I have 2,000 tons of gold parked in a vault at the Federal Reserve System. No, that will never work because trust is gone. It will be a system that says, oh, I have printed money that is worth X amount of gold pieces. You can go into a bank and redeem that money for the gold and vice versa. That's the only system that's going to work. And that's exactly what they're saying right here. The Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Here, it's still on their website, my friends. So is the Road to Ruta documents. If you want to find all these documents, go to roadtoruta.com. To the blog section, educational resources, you're going to find all kinds of stuff. Even the gold in the Grand Canyon article that started me on my adventure, finding out what was Ruta looking for. In the Wishes and Rainbows comic book, she explores these caves in Cobblestone Canyon, and they find massive amounts of gold. There it is. The colored flowers is Ruta called. This is the Federal Reserve Bank. Cobblestone Canyon is the Grand Canyon. Yes, they found massive amounts of gold in the early 1900s. Why do you think Woodrow Wilson gave over the power to the banks? It wasn't because he loves banks. He hated banks. It was because they found billions and billions and billions of ounces of gold in the Grand Canyon. Yes, gold will be money again. We will go back to a gold standard because we have so freaking much of it. Now, what will the value be? Compared to U.S. dollars, it'll be much more than it is now. My guess is $10,000 to $20,000 if they stop printing today. What will silver's value be? Way over that. Per ounce. And the comics will be gone. Remember, comics is futures and options. Oh, by the way, did you see the news? Wall Street on parade, another raid of Deutsche Bank, another dead whistleblower. I've been screaming this for 20 years now. Bankers don't retire, and bankers don't commit suicide, and bankers don't die when things are going well. When things are going extremely poorly, bankers die, bankers commit suicide, and bankers retire. We are in that point right now. Things are so destroyed on the back end. The derivative market is toast. Toast. Financial Times is reporting this morning that Germany's Federal Police Office, criminal prosecutors, and county's financial watchdog, BaFin, are raiding Deutsche Bank headquarters in Frankfurt this morning, according to a statement from prosecutors. The raid comes just 4 days after the body of Berlin Brosmit, 46, was discovered at about 7 a.m. Monday at Woodrow Wilson High School in El Segundo, Sereno, just outside of L.A. Val Brockensmith was the son of William Brockensmith, who was found hanged in his London home on January 6, 2014. The senior Brockensmith was a senior executive at Deutsche Bank involved in assessing risk on the bank's balance sheet. According to a profile of Brockensmith written by David Inrich in New York, the younger Brockensmith had obtained a cache of confidential bank documents left by his father that provided a tantalizing look into the internal workings of Deutsche Bank. Brockensmith was sharing the documents with the FBI. Inrich explains, federal and state authorities were swarming around Deutsche Bank. Some of the scrutiny centered on the lender's 2-decade relationship with President Trump and his family. Other areas of focus drew Deutsche Bank's long criminal history of misconduct, manipulating markets, evading taxes, bribing foreign officials, violating internal sanctions, defrauding customers, and laundering for the Russian billionaires. That is J.P. Morgan in a nutshell also. Who do you think the American counterpart to Deutsche Bank is? J.P. Morgan. That's par for the course. That's normal. But then they're knocking off their own. That's when it gets really interesting. So here's the gold silver ratio. We're up at like 83. If you have gold, you are crazy. You are absolutely off your rocker if you own any ounces of gold. You should have cashed them in for silver a long time ago. You could do it today. If you have a physical ounce of gold, call my friend Andy Schectman. Send him an email. Andy@milesfranklin.com. Say, I want to swap my gold for silver and see how many ounces you get. You won't get the 83 because, you might, depending on what kind of gold you have. But there's different kinds of gold, different kinds of silver. Like a gold eagle is worth more than a Krugerrand, is worth more than a gold round, is worth more than a gold bar per ounce. That type of stuff. But you're going to get upwards of 70-something ounces of silver in your pocket. And down the line, if you love gold, you'll swap all your gold for silver now. And then when silver's freely traded, they'll be 1-to-1. You'll buy 70 ounces of the gold you just traded in if you want to go back to gold. This is a no-brainer. Even the gold bugs say silver's going to do much better than gold. This is a no-brainer. No-brainer. So those of you wondering where I got the numbers of $15 trillion in gold on the COMEX, it's right on their average daily volume reports. I mean, this is the picture of fraud. This is from the CME group. They print every month the average daily volume, and there's gold average daily volume for the month of March was 272,000 contracts times 100 ounces, and then times that by 250 trading days in a month, and then times that by, wait a minute, I didn't times it by 12. It's a hell of a lot. I think, so it's 15 times 12. 15 trillion times 12. That's a lot of trillions, almost 200 trillion. That's a lot of money. And gold's great, but silver's massively better. Every single one of those contracts should be saying, oh my God, I got to buy silver. Why would I buy something that is so highly valued in a future if Bix Weir is correct, and we're looking at, where is it? I always love showing this. If you're looking at tell of vast riches in the Grand Canyon from 1912, and if this really was the reason that Woodrow Wilson created the Federal Reserve and locked up the Grand Canyon so nobody, not even a president, can get in there to mine these days. They always say, oh, we have to get in there and mine uranium. It's not uranium they're going for. It's the gold. There was a Supreme Court case in Utah, the state of Utah against the federal government, because Utah wanted to mine the banks of the Colorado River that goes through Utah, and the federal government stopped them. And one of the key witnesses in that Supreme Court case in 1929 was the foreman of this gold mine right here, the guy running the operation. F.D. Watson testified under oath, he had no reason to lie, that these numbers were absolutely correct. And there were billions and billions of ounces of gold in the banks of the Colorado River in various spots, and they were shut down by the government. They even built a steamship just to carry some coal back and forth so they can use their hydraulic miners, and then poof, all of a sudden it was gone. And as a matter of fact, just a few years back, the U.S. Government declared the hull of the steamship. The only thing that's left of this steamship, it's at Lee's Ferry. Almost impossible to get to back in the day. Now you can, that's where all the river rafting trips on the Grand Canyon start from, is Lee's Ferry, because it's not really allowed to go above that. But you can see on the wall, the side of a mountain is all hydraulically mined, and then they shut it down. They said no. Woodrow Wilson locked up the Grand Canyon into it was the second national park, I believe. But they said, no, we cannot introduce billions of ounces of gold into a system that only has 100 million back then in circulation. 120 million, I think. Have to go back. And it would have absolutely destroyed the hierarchy of wealth. You know, if there's maybe 300 million ounces at the beginning of the 1900s that they had found in gold, and you introduce billions and billions and billions of ounces, you would pretty much screw up everything. All the rich would not be rich anymore. And whoever had control of that, they say it's entities out of New York and out of Chicago who are probably pretty pissed. But they're also mining on Navajo land and the Hopis' land. I mean, this is all, it gets a little squirrely. And that's why the Indian reservation casinos were allowed. Basically, they could either say, okay, yeah, it's all your gold, or they made a deal that said, okay, we're going to get the Navajo Nation rich from all this casino money, but we're going to control the gold there in the Grand Canyon. Go to roadtoroot.com if you want to learn more about that. Anyway, lots of good stuff going on. So new gold standard. And then it looks like China's stockpiling gold and Western currencies devalue. Everybody and their mother is buying gold. Country bases. They can't use silver because there's not enough of it. And silver is needed in other places. Yes, I do believe that gold will go to $15,000, $20,000 if they stop printing now. If they stop printing money right now, that's probably about where it should be. But I do believe also that silver will go 1-to-1 at least with gold, just based on supply and demand. Well, demand actually should be more for silver. But supply, there's 6 billion ounces of each above ground, so why wouldn't it be 1-to-1? Because the bankers, criminal bankers, rigged the price. This is a gift to you. From the bankers, from the assholes like J.P. Morgan, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, this criminal cabal that has enslaved us for so long, they're giving you a gift. You the ability to go buy silver at $23. Shocking. Again, send my friend Andy Schectman an email, Andy@milesfranklin.com. If you don't have a local guy that you trust, Andy's got silver in inventory right now. He just had a big buy, and he's got silver waiting to ship to you. Send him an email, and he'll send you the prices of the silver you can get there. And it's an easy transaction. You wire him the money. As soon as the money clears, he's going to ship you your metal. Okay, so that's what's going on. Again, we are transitioning. This article right here is absolutely right. We are transitioning to a gold standard, but it's not going to be a gold-backed standard because trust is gone. Putin, obviously, no Western country would trust him. But nobody will trust anybody anymore as the system breaks down. As Klaus Schwab says, we need to transfer to a new system. Screw you. You won't be the guy making the decision. Klaus. I mean, you'll be lucky to survive the transition. I don't think he will. The people that will be on trial for the pain and suffering they have caused, and continue to cause, and will really cause when the banks crash, will go on trial. Jamie Dimon will be on trial for his crimes. It's not the kind of trial where they kind of disappear you, like Epstein or Ken Lay or something like that. A real trial with a real human being gets tried for his crimes and treason against the people of the United States of America. All right. Interesting. Tucker Carlson ran something on all these food plants that keep burning down mysteriously. I am in the middle of creating my my freedom garden. You should all be creating a freedom garden in your backyard. If you don't have a backyard, do a freedom sprout garden. Sprouts can grow anywhere, but you need to be able to fend for yourself. We live in a nanny state in the United States and always have. Not always, but at least the last 100 years. We're not going to have people to help us anymore. Help us get food, help us get water, help us get anything. We're going to have to take care of ourselves. So prepare yourself for this shit. A couple pictures. All these facilities are burning down. Nobody knows why. Just go to Klaus Schwab. He'll tell you why. Crazy. Look at all the list. Monday, 43,000 chickens died in massive fire that destroyed 4 chicken houses in Dutch House of Hedson. In March, a fire of poultry farm killed 3,500 chickens. Another poultry farm in India was hit by a fire, 8,500 chickens. Somebody hates these chickens. It's like in the movie The Jerk, where the guy's shooting at him and he keeps hitting the oil cans, and the oil cans are sprouting, and Steve Martin says, "Oh my God, this guy hates the cans. Stay away from the cans." And he was actually shooting at Steve Martin. It's kind of funny. Chickens. This guy hates chickens. Whoever's setting these fires. Ireland and pigs. 8,000 pigs killed. Look at all these fires. They're just destroying the infrastructure of the nanny state food. You need to take care of yourself. Monetarily and via food. Grow a garden as fast as you can. Anyway, that's what I got for you. Again, go to the private road to see the Jenny Moonstone readings. Great stuff. And oh, by the way, this is just part 1. Part 2, we did a whole long thing on theta. I hope everybody understands how big theta is going to be in the future. Our friends over at Crypto Viewing just did theta again. They did it a little differently this time. They didn't say, what is theta and is going to be big. They said, how's the price going to turn out? And Dick was all confused why he had a bad session. It was the tasking was, okay, price. So what? Okay, here's your price. And all of them had the price starting to skyrocket next month. So yes, it's not too late to get theta. It's not too late to understand and study what theta is. On the private road at Road to Ruta, we have a whole page on theta where we talk about how to buy it, store it, and stake it right here. Ruta's theta page. There's our friend Cliff High, Road to the Future, and Bix Weir Uncensored. The Freedom Road Show replays, those are really cool. If you want to see what we do out on the road and our desire to spread the message of freedom, and it is spreading fast, and I love that. And we're going to go out again. The plan is mid-July we'll be out on the road again, kind of middle America, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas. Texas is a little low, but we're gonna be announcing that pretty soon. Again, if you want to join the private road, hit subscribe today. We are still giving away the Ruta Lives coin, the coolest silver coin ever invented, ever. Double stamp with luster. We have just got these awesome boxes, these blue boxes, the red, white, and blue. We got certificate of authenticity. These are awesome. And we are also selling numbers 1 through 10 in auction. We're auctioning them off for good causes. So keep an eye out for that, and you can bid on those coins too. Anyway, this is Bix Weir. To get this, go to hit subscribe today. Join the private road. It's a 1-year subscription for $2.99, less than $1 a day, and you get all the backroom shit, all the good stuff. And there's over 3,000 articles on this new financial system that I've been writing about for years. And there are good guys behind the scenes, and we will win. We will win. And this is Bix. I'll talk to you later.
Pay me my silver now. Pay